Hey guys, welcome to Monday, June 27th. I'm going to try and answer your questions, especially since I'm going to be on a mountain. Not that we're not going to do these every week, but I'm trying to make them as thorough and question answering as possible. So we're going to work, we start off with sprint intervals today. And I know it's going to seem, they're going to go, this is a lot of rest for a little bit of work. This is how you train that top level kind of anaerobic glycolytic energy system. So you need to explain that to them. It's an energy system that's hard to touch without lots of rest. In fact, this is on the shorter end. Generally, you're looking at 6-to-1. This is a 4-to-1 work to rest ratio. You're looking at 6-to-1 to train that. So this is kind of the bare minimum we can rest to do this. The key to this, and if you do it right, you probably don't want to get back on that bike in 2 minutes. If they do want to get back on the bike, you can probably tell them push harder. So you're going to start off with 30 seconds of bike. Then you rest 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the rower, rest 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the assault bike. We're going to give them some time to warm up on this because just going from dead to 100% doesn't really work. So you're going to go through this one time at like 70, 80%. Then we'll reset and do it again. Now it's designed so that if you have 12 people, each person can start on a different apparatus and there's time to move around. If you have more than 12, you're going to have to run 2 heats, which again, you've got 2 minutes of rest in there. So it should be pretty easy to do. Do 30 seconds, give them 30 seconds or 45 seconds to kind of reset for the second person. Then the second person goes and you can keep that cycle going and you should have no overlap, right? It doesn't matter where they start, which apparatus they do, just as long as they all start something and rotate through, right? The big key though is that we do it through it once as a warm up and then go hard on the second time, right? And then, yeah, that's basically it. So make sure that they really understand that RPE needs to be where they can't get a word out, right? If you can talk during your 30 seconds, it's probably too easy. Then we're going to work on some pause back squatting so we can really emphasize the bottom position here, right? People tend to like collapse or not stay active. So we're going to come to a 2-second pause in the bottom, but it's really making sure we're in that knees out, right? Fully up or is fully neutral spinal position, and driving knees out and kind of stable as possible, right? They're still struggling with the RPE. There's still confusion on that. It's just going to take some time to get it. So please make sure we explain what we're looking for. All right. It's 2 reps. It starts at a 1, goes to a 2 sets of 3, and 2 sets of 4. In general, we're going to stick at the same weight if we're doing 3s and 4s. It could be sometimes that you would even go down if you're like, ugh, right? That like I don't have that extra rep in there, right? I don't think if for the next set I don't think I have an extra rep. People are still going up. Last week we had like 3 sets at 3, and they're adding weight each time, and that doesn't make much sense unless they've messed up. They're so used to adding weight every set. We need to kind of break them of that habit so we can properly strength train them. So really explain what the purpose of it is, right? So you're adding weight after the first one, after the second, and then for the last 2. So there's not as many, you're not adding weight every single time. All right, so we finish off with what should be a relatively quick workout. All right, so it's pull-ups and then power cleans. And it's moderately heavy power cleans, right? So make sure it's something they could do 10 to 15 of when they're fresh. And it's pull-ups in 1 to 2 sets. So if you struggle with pull-ups, or like people want to do the full pull-ups, but they can't do it in 1 to 2 sets, they're going to struggle to get this under that 10-minute cap, right? And we don't have massive amounts of time built into this for them to go over, and they're not going to get the intent of the workout. This really should be kind of a fast push pace, right? It really should be like a 5-minute workout. There's no reason it shouldn't be longer. It should be longer than that. We really want to be able to push the pace here and make sure our conditioning is what's limiting us. A lot of times when people see it's a little bit heavy, but for power cleans, it's not really that heavy for 9, 15, 21. So it should be our breathing. We shouldn't be staring at a barbell going, ooh, that's going to be heavy. I don't want to lift that, right? I would advise, as long as the weight's easily dropped and it doesn't jump all over the place, have them do singles on those because they're quick singles. You can probably get through it really quickly. Make sure we go over what their RPE should feel like so they don't blow it out first, right? It should be kind of that round of 9. You're looking first round. You're looking at like a 2 where it's short sentences. Moving into, you can get a couple of words out for the 15, and like a 3 for most of the 21. And then we move into a 4, maybe at the very end, but we shouldn't be to the point where we can't speak a couple of words until those last few reps, really, probably even the last few reps of pull-ups. If you hit that point, you've got a minute or two, and this is a little bit longer than a minute too, so make sure that you keep them out of that, but push them a little bit into that kind of 3 pace for most of this. All right, should be pretty easy, but yeah, if you have any questions before I leave, let me know.